in points, 7th in assists, and top 40 in rebounds. So those are the numbers, and they're just a little bit mind-boggling. So we need to spend some time breaking down another monumental accomplishment from LeBron James, and who better to do that than the birthday girl and a couple of guys who played with him too. So, Richard, you won a championship with LeBron. Is he the most complete player of all time?
Yeah, I don't think it's much of a question at this point in time. When you look at what he was able to do, he was probably a couple of votes away from getting a Defensive Player of the Year when he was in Miami. So you look at him, he's always been an offensive, just in amongst himself, where he can grab the rebound, he can create an assist, he can also score, but he can do it at a level that very few players ever reach. If he never scored a basket, all of a sudden you could look at this man could be at 11, 12, 13,000 assists if that was the only thing that he did. So there's no area in his game that he couldn't just be either top 5 at or top 7 at.
His greatness is definitely his versatility. I mean, he can score the basketball, and I love the evolution of his game. Came into the league, he really could get to the rim. He had the mid-range, and now we're seeing him score more threes at this point, largely because of sustainability, especially for his body. So he's got scoring at number 2. He's 7th in assists. And then you have to talk about the defense, because a lot of people say MJ defensively elite. Well, LeBron James is 6-time all-defensive. I know the last year was 2014, but still that well-rounded aspect of him, and plus the way that he sort of made positionless basketball interesting by his, brute strength and size, and then also his skill. So yeah, complete basketball player. He's elite at every category.
Just think about this, right? When we think about all the all-time greats, it's not one of them that we could mention that actually played all positions. LeBron James has played the point, the 2, the 3, the 4, and this year we watched him play the 5. So when I look at his overall game, he does it all. And right, he doesn't have the on paper individual accolades, but the real basketball minds that actually watch the game know that LeBron James has been an elite defender his entire career. LeBron James was so special at chase down blocks that people were scared to lay the ball up. Remember LeBron James in Cleveland? I remember a time in postseason that Rondo used to get out on the break with steals, and he used to say, listen, I'm not going to lay the ball up. I need somebody to run with me, because he had got tired of LeBron swatting his stuff to level 300 so many times. We forget about those moments. So when I look at LeBron, I think it's no debate, and I think we all agree on this.
No, look, really quickly before we go too far, Magic Johnson also played all 5 positions. He played every position on the court. But Magic, and this is what LeBron James has always been.
Magic played the point, and he played the center.
Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about. LeBron James has always been the combination of Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. You show me one GM, one person on this planet that says if you could build a basketball player, if you could build a skill set, there is no player that you could build other than LeBron James. That's where he's always been. He's had the pressure on him. He's had everything about him. There's not one facet to his game. Maybe improve his free throw shooting. His three-point shooting has improved. But there's nothing that you can do that you could build a better basketball player, and he is showing that on top of the longevity that we've seen over the course of his 30-year career.
Well, and that's the thing. It's the longevity, right? It's the fact that he
okay?
actually... Yeah,
okay.
I'm concerned about Perk.
Okay.
Oh,
he froze. Thank God.
He was so still there. My goodness. Okay. We all know, though, right, that knowing LeBron James, second all time, that's not where he's going to want to finish. Next up is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and James needs just over 1,400 points to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer. So with 11 games to go this season, what is it they always hashtags his photos as? The kid from Akron?
Yeah,
the kid from Akron. Wash King. The kid from Akron, the Wash King, is looking at some point, maybe midway through next season, if he stays healthy and scores at this rate. So what better place to start than Cleveland, where he plays tonight? It's a homecoming of sorts, right? So let's take a look at how he's done as a visitor in the past, starting with 2010. His first game after leaving the Cavs for the Heat, LeBron had 38 in a blowout win. Okay, so then let's go on. March 2013. Still with the Heat now, LeBron had a 25-point triple-double and led his team to a win after trailing by 27 points in the third quarter. So LeBron went back to Cleveland, won a championship, left for the Lakers. His first game as a Laker came in 2018, and he had 32 points, 14 rebounds in a 4-point win. And last but not least, last year, with not as many people in the crowd because of the pandemic, LeBron went for 46, including 21 in the fourth quarter after a Cavs executive celebrated a miss
I remember
end of the third, right? And then the Lakers won by 7. So clearly, I mean, LeBron James, he knows what he is doing. Look, and he got a little handshake to go with it. All right, so Richard Jefferson, you played with LeBron in Cleveland. What are you expecting from him going back to Cleveland?
Well, obviously after his with all the things that were said in the All-Star game, I think a lot of that was about like just having the home crowd embrace him. Look, he's always going to be beloved. He's always going to have an aspect of a villain. That's just where he exists the most. And so when I see him getting back there, it's just getting back to business. Ultimately, this Cleveland team is a problem. This is a team that they're still trying to avoid dropping to 7. So it is going to, they've been packing that arena all year long, even without LeBron James, with that crew. So I think it's going to be a great environment, and I think it's going to be a fun one.
Okay, so for more on LeBron's return, I'm joined by someone who's covered plenty of LeBron James games in Cleveland over the years, and yours too, Richard Jefferson, our Lakers reporter Dave McMenamin. So Dave, how is this return different for LeBron?
Well, Malika, we're having some audio issues here, but I will tell you, being here back at Rocket Mortgage Arena, it used to be Quicken Loans Arena for LeBron's great run here. It brings back a ton of memories. Obviously, you look at his all-time performance against the Cavs, 16-1 in his career, 29.1 points per game, playing against his former franchise. Tonight will be the first time out of all those games that his team is the underdog. To me, I found LeBron finding a beauty in the struggle of this season, finding a way to find love for this game despite the team's struggles. And guess what? He hasn't given up on where the season can go. Based on what you saw with that big win in Toronto on Friday, he could have sat out on Saturday, but it was important to him to come back and show that he's still committed to what this team can accomplish with the time that's left of the year. I expect a big night for him tonight against this Cavs team. And, you know, listen, we'll see where the season goes, but this is still a night that he relishes. I'm going to sign off and pass it back to you guys in the studio because we're having some technical difficulties here.
Thank you so much, Dave. That is certainly going to be an interesting matchup between LeBron James, the Lakers, Evan Mobley, and the Cavs. Still ahead, though, on NBA Today. Don't look now, but the Wolves, they have the best record in the NBA since the break. So we're talking about that man, Big Cat, when we return on NBA Today.